So hello, this is an update on my plans and what I've been experiencing in the last many weeks and how I'm going to serve from now on until I get any other, I guess, insights, you could say. So first of all, I'm going to just summarize what I'm going to talk about so that you know whether this even interests you, and also to let you know where you can reach me and what I'm actually doing. So let's start with how to reach me and what I'm doing in the future. So I'm still going to be teaching online women's holistic yoga on Thursday nights, Australia, Adelaide time, 7 till 8 p.m. and on Sundays, which is 4 till 5 p.m. South Australian time. I was going to go back to the chapel because that was always the intent. But I have meditated on that, and a lot of things have changed, not just for myself, but also for my yoga students and people, and really what people want from the practice, from self-care, and how to maximize it really. So going out and meeting up is definitely amazing. It's amazing, and I miss not connecting with you all personally. At the same time, being indoors and having your own sanctuary that has a vibration and an energy to it, where you really practice yoga for yourself as you've been practicing with me, and I have also, has been wonderful. I've actually really enjoyed the simplicity of it. And for me, it's been, you know, time effective. I haven't had to go to the chapel, which I've done for 9 years, really loving it. Packing, you know, getting ready around 2 o'clock, having a shower, putting on my clothes, my pure clean clothes, I guess my space to go into the sacred, you know, it's like part of the whole practice, or a ritual even. And then setting up and then starting to teach at 4 until 5:30, and then coming home around 6:37. So it was quite a long commitment on my behalf, which I've actually really enjoyed for 9 years. And all of a sudden it occurred to me this weekend that there was a part of me that wanted to evolve that and change that. And a part of me, like my ego self, was saying, you got to keep going, and you've got to go into the chapel, and you have to be there. And there was a greater part of me, a part of me that was in touch with my soul on a deeper level, or the evolution that I've gone through, or the evolution the world has gone through, was saying, no, that's really spreading yourself thin. It's gonna be draining on you, because what you do for 4 hours versus what you can do in 1 hour is just so different. It's a different economy, a different world. People want different things. So I went into a deep silence. I went into a big meditative space. It was really great. And I was really saying, I really need this answer. I need to let my students know what's going on, and I need to know myself. I don't want to be in no man's land, although sometimes that can be part of the journey, to not be sure where you're going. But for me, I have this connection, and I've set up this beautiful community, and I know everyone's doing everything in different ways. Doesn't mean we have to be stuck together, but there is also that, and that resonance, and that beautiful women's connection that I relish. And I just absolutely love connecting and being with all of you, and just what it brings out, and how it amplifies us, and how we cheer each other on, how we share, how we're so real, how we just let go of the outside world and then come into the space, and there's just us, and you know, we're remembering who we are, and all these energy channels through me, this pure utter love, and which is just talking to everybody. I keep getting the feedback that, you know, the words are just perfect, and they were just so uplifting, and I feel so much better now. All the students tend to say exactly the same words. I felt really, you know, lost or sad or tired or exhausted or confused before coming, and I was really hoping this class would help me, like it always does, and it has. I feel amazing. I feel renewed. So there is that aspect where I really just love that, and to have that connection. So I meditated on it, and then the answer came very clearly that I'll do a once a month long mini retreat. So I know that sounds contradictory, but instead of the 1 hour class, which it has been now, which it used to be 1.5, it is going to be 3.5, 4 hours, right? So at the moment I'm planning from 2 o'clock at first Sunday of the month until 5:30. So you can go out and do your lunch things with people. You can still be around for dinner. So you can really take the time out. It's a format of a mini retreat. It's women's self-care. And it means that you can connect in the community. You can be with like-minded women. And at the moment, we can have up to 20 people. And it's going to be amazing. So there's going to be the yoga, the breathing, the self-care, the chakra balancing, the learning to deeply relax, as I always teach, and also the self-contemplations that we will journal, where you tap into your wisdom, which is always the perfect wisdom for you, and really honoring that and really anchoring that. And so there'll be other things involved, like there might be a cacao ceremony in certain ones. There might be specific themes that maybe you request or that I will design. There could be essential oils making included in the package, where everyone can just make a mixture out of the oils that I've got. So it will always be a nurturing mini retreat. Each one will be slightly different. I will add something special into each one. There'll be sound baths that are longer, and I'll be able to make a specific one that's focused on that, where I'll bring all my equipment in, because it's a lot. And there can be lots of support on around how we program ourselves. For example, the ways of the mind, which basically neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis have taught that to me from a Western perspective. The origins really, truly are ancient, and the way of understanding the mind is very much yogic, and the ancient rishis have understood that. And it's very much looking at where is the ego and where is it useful and where is it not, and how can we change that? How can we actually meet our higher self? And this is exactly what this time is about. This is what this whole 2020 thing that's going on, which is a huge purging. Everybody knows that, so I'm not going to repeat on that, as in repeat the whole story. But basically, as the vibration is shifting off the earth, or as it shifted, we need to catch up with that. We need to move with it. We need to support it. And it can be really a wonderful opportunity to decide what you really want and how to hold on to that, because we are moving into that space. We have already been manifesting what we believe and what is held in our unconscious mind. Everything that's around you and all the beauty, but also all the things you don't want, are a creation from your experiences and programming. And that programming is basically goes endlessly, right? So it's not just this lifetime. I have done a lot of regression work. I have a lot of female clients that come, and we go into regression, which is basically sitting in my cozy chair with me, opposite me, and I relax them. But this is simply like a yogic breath, surrendering into the chair, and you are basically conscious there, but very relaxed. And I explain how the conscious mind doesn't have the answers, but the unconscious mind has all the answers. It has the blueprint for health and for deep awareness. It's basically an enlightened yogic state, and it just can tap into anything as long as you are ready for it. And we will always ask, is the unconscious ready to make this conscious? Is this for the highest good? And then we go for it. And it's absolutely easy and effortless. I've had so many women now, and every time my intention is that it is easy, joyful, and effortless and powerful. And so are they in the same space, because we talk first. And I actually work with women that are really ready only, because there's no need to accelerate or push something unless the person is ready. And when they're ready, and I'm ready always for that, it is so easy and so powerful and so magical and so beautiful. And there's no point in making it long-winded and difficult. So this is how it's been working for me, and women get their own answers. They basically self-initiate. So, okay, so that's where I'm going to be with my classes. So like I said, online still as per before, Thursdays and Sundays, available globally. And we've had people from overseas and interstate, which is also super beautiful. That really is the oneness, and also choosing your tribe is so much easier now. So, and then there'll be once a month, first Sunday of the month, where I'll do an afternoon mini retreat for women. And it will be very, very nice. So when I go in there and set up, it's going to be that we're there for a lot longer. It's going to be a lot more intense. So rather than me setting up and we're in there for 1.5 hours and then you're leaving, you actually get the time to incubate, to prepare, to have that process, and to have a lot to go away with. For example, that's why I like it to be the first Sunday of the month in this case, because it happens to work really well. And then you can have even a vision for the rest of that month, and that you can really organize in that Sunday. And it's like a focal point. Remember that your GPS is within. And what you focus on and ask for and prepare for and action and vibrate inwardly with is then so easy to manifest and experience. You'll be laughing at how amazing that is. That's what all my clients say. Just, this is so amazing. I'm so different. They came to me with a problem, and after 2 sessions, sometimes after 1, it's like, that's not a problem. I have no charge around that anymore. And I will remind them, this was really driving your life. This was really your priority. And then she says, that's totally no way. I can see that that's blocking me from shining my light and from my self-care. And that once I've achieved that self-care fully, I will step into everything that would have sabotaged me what I wanted before. And I said, that's right. That's because there was a program running, which was, I need to have this job, or I need to have this acknowledgement, or I need to have this whatever it is. Honestly, it can be a child, it can be a partner, it can be an apology, it can be whatever it is, a certain thing. And when you realize that that's actually not right now the priority, your priority is that alignment and making that conscious awareness aligned with your soul purpose, the other work just becomes so easy. It just releases, and your unconscious will take you there. And then you realize, wow, that's how I created that belief. And it is very, very relevant for that time. But I've been holding that for 3 lives, or since birth, or since I was 1 year old. I planted that seed, or the seed was planted for my divine journey. But actually, I think now that it's 30 years later, 40, 50, 60 years later, I'm sick of going round and round in circles and running a pattern that I know consciously and in my heart doesn't work for me. So that's the sort of work that I do in the one-on-ones. And I also touch on that during my yoga classes. This can happen during yoga classes, depending on your readiness. The thing is just that when you go into a private session, it's just like concentrated, and it's just going sometimes 3 lifetimes, clear, message, and then it just works. And it's not ever going to be too much. It's according to what your unconscious is saying it wants to do. So sometimes a client will say, no, I don't want to go to this place that the lady wanted to go to, and we're going somewhere else. So what's really important then? And boom, it comes up, and then that releases everything. It's very, very graceful. So I'm going to hold those little mini retreats where I will also have mini aspects of that kind of clearing as a group, which is really powerful, where I will share NLP techniques that are really easy to apply, and they're really joyful, where you can draw in the light, where you can visualize by anchoring a memory that you've had before, and you can really, bring that energy through your DNA and your cells and really work with it. Also, how you can unhypnotize yourself from things you've hypnotized yourself into, and recognizing what actually are my hypnotic patterns, what actually are those repeat thoughts, and catching them, writing them down, and choosing to shift them, and using really easy techniques to do that. It's totally in my face all the time. It's incredible. And often it's easier if you have someone there holding space, and you can't run away and think, oh, I should do the dishes, or I need to do laundry, I need to look after my kids, or I need to read this book, or I need to do my tax, or I need to whatever it is, gardening, anything. The conscious mind is a bit of a saboteur, because it likes to keep things the same. It's really important to realize that. And so it's afraid of change, because really what it will try to do is protect you by being the same. But that sameness is causing suffering, right? It's causing something you don't want anymore, sabotage, not enough money, not the relationship you want, not the self-care or the connection with yourself that you really always wanted and thought you would have. And that's when it helps to have someone help you, because the conscious mind may try and wriggle out of it and go, oh yeah, and think about other things. Oh, I won't go to the yoga, I won't go to the session one-on-one. What will I lose my relationship? How am I going to deal with that? So that's very, very normal, and that's a normal experience before we change. But I'm also empower people to realize that, and then to realize that when you have the session, I can personally guide you to realize that these thoughts may come, and you will already tell me, because I'm going to ask you about that. I know how to get those particular triggers into your awareness, and I'll write them down. And that means we will know exactly why they're there, how to recognize them, and so easily transform them into seeing them like what used to look like a boulder and insurmountable now looks like just a simple pen on the ground or something that you just step over. And it's just is that. It really is just the way you see things, just like the idea of when you're going through the bush or somewhere and you think there's a snake and you're really scared because you're fearful of snakes, which is natural, and this branch looks like a snake, and when you go to it's actually a branch. It's a lot like that. It's a very good analogy. So as we're going through change, I also want to mention that on my own journey, as I have changed during these times and the COVID, which is an invitation for all of us to go deeper within, to drop attachments, to start to flow more with feeling secure from within, being connected within, which is what I teach all the time when we go through the chakra levels of consciousness. It really is an invitation to go deeper and to really honor yourself on another dimensional level deeper. So if you think you were doing it before, the invitation is to become that person that's really stable, really centered within, that can see all the chaos, that can see all the change, all the paradigm shifts, all the invitations for change, and looking at them that way and holding a high vision of what's possible, holding that vision in your mind that, okay, I can see there's suffering, but I know that on the other side is this freedom, is this awakening, is this new way of being in the earth and being with ourselves, and hold that light and hold that frequency. So this is also something we do in each yoga class. We vibrate high, we let that energy flow out into the world. And so we are really elevating ourselves, and each one of us makes a difference. And we're also sharing that light, which is infinite, flowing through us and into the planet and wherever it is needed. So it's something like an endless flow that we are directing through us and outwards. And that intent in itself is a wonderful gift to you and to the world. And it's really what we're called upon now when we're having global meditations, when we're having group gatherings, to get together and to hold that space, to hold that light. So when you connect with me online, we are doing that. It's an illusion to think that we are not. I used to feel that years ago. You can't possibly do these things online. You're not going to have the connection. But that was a barrier and a limiting belief. We do connect very deeply online, and a lot of women have said, I feel amazing. I would love to still see you personally, but I'm really affected positively, and it is really uplifting me every week, bringing back my confidence and my positive levels of awareness. So really realize that we are connecting all over the world. You know the feeling when you think of someone that's across the planet somewhere else, and suddenly they're messaging you from across the planet, from overseas, and they caught your thought or you caught theirs. And it's this timeless, dimensionless connection. And this is also something we're moving into as we are evolving, this capacity to intuitively connect. Your heart is connecting your biggest field of consciousness, and also the sense of telepathy or clairaudience, clairvoyance, all these things which are always within us. So I'm saying a lot here, but hopefully this is inspiring you to realize that it's a barrier if you believe that online is less. It's only a challenge is, of course, your home environment makes it difficult, and you need to get out to feel you can give yourself permission to let go. But that also is a belief. It is also a belief, unless there's literally people all around you and you don't have your own room, then it could be an invitation to create. Obviously, you have little kids, you can't. Little kiddies, they need all the attention, and that's fine. But if there are people that can be reasoned with, to give yourself that hour off, that's not much to ask, considering you're going to feel amazing and you're going to go into self-love, and therefore you can love the family and your surroundings even more than before, serve in your career even more, make choices that are elevated even more. And that's really part of this evolutionary call right now that we're in. So as we go into the next few days, we're going to go into solstice. It's another, and there's apparently an eclipse as well. There's going to be more energetics. We're on an astrological level, which I'm not all that much into like some people are, but I do realize the planets do affect us. The moon affects us definitely, but all the planets, even if you look at Vedic astrology, which is as deep as the yogic science, we are affected by the energetics. If you at all resonate, then realize that currently we're in a place where there's a lot of conjunctions, a lot of eclipses, and a lot of energetics on planets that really indicate revolution and change. So whether we want to blame people on it, I wouldn't even do that. I would choose my own path as much as possible and realize everything is an invitation. How can I navigate here from the highest place within myself? What is this triggering for me? What can I learn from this? Because that is the invitation. Remember, whenever there's an evolution, unless someone's already prepared and has been evolving every day and keeping it as a practice, it's going to be like cracking open an egg or the seed of a tree, you know, like the oak tree. And when that opens up and then it emerges as the plant that it always could be, or the caterpillar analogy, right? So there's a lot of metaphors here. There's also the domino effect. You know, once you start one thing, it's just going to lead to an unfolding, and we're in the middle of it. There's no way of stopping it. Everything is going to change. See it as a high vibrational change and vision to release bondage, heaviness, and definitely, number one, as we all know, release fear whenever you can. Notice if something is creating fear. Be okay. We're not going to be in denial. We're not going to be pushing anything away. No spiritual bypassing, no way. Look at it. Notice maybe how the world around you is responding, and then go, how can I grow out of that? How can I use this as fertilizer to see what my choices are and what my programs are? I talk about this a lot in my YouTubes. I talk about this in my one-on-ones and in my yoga classes. So I won't get into great detail right now, but just allow yourself to be present, to breathe, and anchor into the breath as much as possible, and really realize that you have all you need within you. The consciousness within your chakra centers is profound, it's supportive, it's going to show you duality and oneness, and the expansion is profound. So let yourself connect to your base chakra, grounding down, growing your roots down into the earth, and feel this as you rise your spine, shoulders nice and back, tuck your chin in, feel the crown opening into the light, your pure source. Only love and light is what we serve, intention. Let your heart center expand and let that cocoon you in a beautiful bubble of light. Earthed, expanded, cocooned in the heart. And as we move through these experiences, allow yourself to connect to inspiration, openness, joy, and all the things that you are, using the breath, which changes the brain chemistry and your consciousness. It really is the doorway to all the things that you're looking for. And I've studied this so deeply, including quantum physics, including the yogic way of inner focus. So please feel aware that you have this within you. We are awakening to those gifts within us, and that is awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, there are a lot of amazing YouTubers out there. One of my favorite ones is Eckhart Tolle, and just tune into that. Use those resources, because as much as the internet has, again, duality to it, use it for the best. There are so many spiritual leaders out there offering sessions for free and making YouTubes. You can grow enormously right now. All these things wouldn't have been available, 20, 30 years ago. You would have had to have traveled, you would have had to have paid, you would have had to spend time sitting with them. Now you can lie in your bed and just focus on that. In your lunch break, you can focus on it. Like, I love that. What is your focus in life? Remember that when you vibrate high and you honor your true self, everything else falls into place. So it's an illusion to think I need to settle the house first, or the kids, or the world, or whatever it is. Go within and feel this, and let this growth blossom and radiate into all that you do. That is, to me, this is me talking, the shortcut. It's not the easiest path because it's straight within, but you're going to have to go there anyway. It's going to happen eventually anyway, because we can't run away from anything within. So let's enjoy the treasure chest within. Know that if you have something dark and shadowy there, it's just something that wants to bubble up. It's something that's in all of us and has been in all of us. Some of us have released it or made peace with it, and other people are still going to face it. And there's nothing bad about it. What happens is that if we ignore the shadow, it only comes up and bubbles up in uncomfortable and strange ways. Once we've seen it and incorporated it in this life or in previous lives, you've just bubbled above it and you can see all those things. And these are all just programs, things from past lives that used to be useful or that are part of a karmic exchange and experience. So allow yourself to know that you can empower yourself. Now, also be careful who you choose as your teacher. There are a lot of people out there that are doing things for money and that are also quite egoic still. I see it, it's there. I also see many, many amazing, divine, holy, completely selfless people really choose what feels right for you, and don't feel like you need to be stuck with one teacher. Choose different people and extract what works for you. You know, if I don't resonate, or if you don't resonate with me, move on, go somewhere else, move around, maybe come back full circle, maybe don't. Trust your own evolutionary purpose and journey. I'm here to help women become who they already are deep within, to shed all the layers that have built up on top, not just in this generation, but through previous generations, because we have that within us, genetically and genealogically. And once we release that, we're releasing it for 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. That is amazing work. You know, I really feel that if that's all I do in this lifetime, I have done more than enough, like in terms of for my own satisfaction. That is just the most beautiful thing. Like literally, I could just give up right now, in terms of if I've done it and I have to pay the price to let go of my life, I would let go of that. If I know I've helped 7 generations back and 7 forward, amazing. I don't need anything else. That is beyond anything. There is nothing comparable to it, to that. Remember, even money will change, the structure of the government, the monetary system. We need to be fulfilled from within and flow. And as we vibrate with that, we will attract what we need. And this can be a big test for some of us. And this, again, is a very spiritually profound invitation. And the more we focus on it and allow it and invite that, ask your guides, ask your family of light around you, or your whatever you connect with that you feel support from, right? Whatever it is, God, the angels, Jesus, Mary, I don't mind, whatever it is, nobody minds. It's your unique thing. If you want to know what it is, ask to find out what that is, because nobody's here by themselves, ever. I've also been absorbing a lot of Dolores Cannon's work, amazing, and I feel very connected with what she does and I do. Her work was very deep and very, very long term, but I resonate when I hear about what she does. I feel the same energy in my clients and how they're moving through things. They're still conscious though. Her clients are almost completely unconscious. I prefer to work with the client being somewhat conscious and remembering, so they actually remember their past lives and how it felt. And to me, that's super empowering, and that's my path, and that's what I love, because that's how I want to journey myself. So yeah, check my YouTube channel more. Like it and share it. I'm doing a lot of free stuff there, and also my women's group on Facebook and my website. I'm still creating a program that took a bit longer than I thought, where I'm going to teach everyone how to meditate with ease and grace. There is a meditation style for everybody, guaranteed. And I have got so many styles to share, and I intuitively can really help many people, even in a group, to tap into that as I sense their energy, and one-on-one even more so that a meditation is actually joyful and easy, which is how it should be. I'm going to say. You should not be suffering and feeling that it is a torture or another job to tick, or something that you feel guilty about when you don't do it. Meditation is a part of life. It can be part of all the time, whenever you want. It doesn't have to mean sitting in a special spot, making a specific chanting sound, or saying something, or going into full silence. It can be simply observing when you're gardening, when you're walking, using the breath. I just feel like this is my absolute element. I've been teaching this stuff since my 20s, early 20s. I love it. I find meditation natural and easy, and I love sensing people's energy and connecting to what they need and reminding them, so that as they notice what they love, and saying that is meditation, that is how you reach your peace, that is where you're getting in touch with your true self, which is what this evolution is literally asking us to do. If we don't embrace that, it's going to be more suffering. The vibration is a shift from 3D to 4 to 5D. Many of us are already in 5D, some of us in 4D, some of us are in 3D, totally different realities. There's a lot I could say, but right now I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy, give me feedback, and if you want to book in, email me, check my websites, which will be listed in this email. You can book in through my Kundalini Studio app. It's still called Kundalini Studio, even though I only teach authentic Kundalini yoga, nothing that has been mixed up by Yogi Bhajan. He unfortunately corrupted a lot of it and was himself full of shadows, which is okay. I wouldn't have studied with him if I knew that. But now that I know, Everything that was corrupted by him has been researched deeply by me, and intuitively I teach none of that. And I do not feed that lineage, that so-called lineage and that energy and those organizations. And even though there are good people that teach Kundalini yoga, I do feel that they will also wake up to realizing that it's not okay and karmically corrupting to follow these teachings. What we need to realize is that I feel, thank you for that. Thank you for the learning. Thank you for bringing the awareness. Thank you for the good things I got out of it. And also, you may well have suffered through the wrong teachers teaching too much of his stuff. And I never resonated, by the way. Some people literally played him teaching and listened to him and put his pictures up and did all the meditations into his eyes, really feeding him energy, feeding that energetic energy, which is still existing. It's actually got a lot of darkness linked in with it. I never did that. I never had the pictures. I always taught, go into yourself, because intuitively I always felt I need to really navigate this energy, that it's always about each person sitting in front of me and their energetic and their light. I'm very much about non-corruption and staying true to yourself. This is so important, so vital. Now, I didn't know Yogi Bhajan was the way he was at that point, but I was guided during all my classes, because there were some kriyas I looked at and I thought I would want to teach that. And then I realized, no way, I'm not. And I could intuitively feel which one, and I never questioned that. And these are the original ones that I've since searched in other books that I've had at home, in my other original yoga texts. So that's what I teach. So I still teach Kundalini style yoga, still chakra clearing, still breath work, raising that channel of awareness, but nothing to do with him. Only the original teachings, which he took originally from those rishis anyway, and then put his stuff into it. Because he wanted to please the American audience, who apparently wanted a kriya for everything. So he got a bit playful with that and added his own ideas to it to keep people coming back for more, to keep people thinking they need it. And if people wanted to leave, he was quite abusive, saying they would be lost and much worse, very abusive language. So he did want people to depend on him, even though he said all the right words, be your own guru. That's what people say. And that doesn't mean they mean it. We have to become much more discerning. There are a lot of teachers like that I've now become aware of, because people have come to me and shared about these teachers, not just Kundalini, but otherwise. And you need to be on your own journey about how much you want to honor your light. And when you feel that something might not be quite right, that you are able to discern it, and also have the faith to know that you can navigate, that you can walk through a tunnel of darkness, but hold your own light, right? That's part of it. It's like the warrior. It's like I was tested. It's like I met people that were dark, but I felt it and they wanted to corrupt me. Oh yeah, I will make other YouTubes on this. I'm going to share my journey someday, how people literally, and I felt that. And even though I felt that they were trying to corrupt me, I thought to myself, that can't be right. Come on, just really, that's a bit extreme. Surely it's not. But it took me a while, and yeah. And once I realized that, it was very, very obvious. It's a bit like learning about narcissism. And until you know about it, you don't realize it, because they are very good at manipulating you and making you feel like something is about you that's wrong, right? If you haven't learned about narcissists yet, yeah, that's a big thing. And I woke up to that as well. They are amazing constructs of consciousness, very dangerous and very debilitating if you don't know how to navigate. So, but there's so many amazing YouTubers on that. Fantastic support out there. Support yourself. Keep your mental health amazing. Know that your experience is unique and honor it. Know that you don't need to please anybody else. Okay, this is super important, as the world is going into a bit of division right now, and people are losing friendships over who's with Trump, who's into vaccines, who's into 5G, who's into the Black Lives Matter. It is one after the other, and it's all a test to see how you navigate. Can you honor that everyone is at their own place in consciousness, and can you honor what's right for you? And do we not need to fight about it? Can we just be okay with it? Can we just let people be where they are, share information if we want to, or just hold, but not deny ourselves, not deny our truth anymore? We have the right all to our own truths, to our unique expression. So I'm here for that. I'm passionate about this. And I'm here to support that in my women's groups, in my online group. And also as I keep developing, this will become even more enhanced. So that's my plan. That's what's happening. That's what I'm in the middle of creating. I have a new website. It's almost ready. You can already look at it. It still needs memberships, details organized. And so, yeah, let me check if there's anything else. I've got a little list here. I think I've done everything. So keep aware of the changes of energy, honor yourself. Like I had to, I really sat with this. I'm going back on Sunday. Like some part of me doesn't want to go back. What's this? Meditate on it. Don't intellectualize it. Okay, drop into stillness. What's going on in my heart? What does my higher self want to teach me? What is the message here? Why am I in an internal division? These are very draining if you don't address them. It's like having a bathtub with constantly water running out. It's an internal division. It's extremely exhausting. So I had that for about 4 days, bubbling around until I realized I need to make a decision. So I sat in meditation. I had a really beautiful, quiet morning. The universe provided that. I also asked for it. Sat in it with my green tea, candle, stillness, and it became very obvious. So quality once a month, really we can connect, we go really deep, we set the month instead of spreading it out over every week. So I hope you enjoy that. I know that people have said they get a lot more out of these mini retreats and workshops. And I know that many people have said, literally everyone actually has said, they're amazed at how much they're getting out of these online classes. I know some of you haven't tried them yet, and that's fine. It's worth trying if you can set up a space and arrange something. When I teach, you really will surprise yourself. And really the ultimate yogi, and the place I feel we all want to head for, is that we can sit at home. We can sit in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the living room, in the car. And we can connect to those few minutes to be the inner yogi, which is why I made 4-minute, 5-minute, 8-minute yogi meditative practices on my YouTube channel. They were all live. So search for my live ones. They are all small ones to reset during the day, to reconnect. It doesn't have to be hours. It doesn't have to mean 2 hours. You don't need a mantra always. A mantra just helps to vibrationally shift. A mantra carries energy. I will also discuss that a bit more. So if you vibrate a certain mantra, you will start to vibrate your cellular system and your consciousness with it. It's not about ignoring your thoughts like some people think. It's actually about vibrationally matching. It's a harmonic, it's a sound, it's a breath work technique. It's actually ancient and really profound, nothing to mock ever. And so beautiful practices like that. And you can do them. 5 minutes of chanting, 5 minutes of breathing, any of my meditations. And chanting can be your own words. It can be Sanskrit words. You can explore that. And really the practice is that, you know, if we can't go out to yoga class, how can I be that inner yogi? And start to create a habit out of that, which changes your neurology. It starts to create that as a lifestyle for you. You could be playing the stock market. You could be out there, you know, in a riot. You could be out there being a freedom fighter. You could be painting. You could be a hairdresser. You could be a lawyer. You could be a doctor, a kiddie at school. You could be retired and at home, lonely or surrounded by family. It is going to be useful for all of that. Everything will be enhanced with this kind of thing. So me being online, I feel, is actually a great gift, and it's made me go that way. And I'm looking at all of this as a gift. Everywhere I'm going to look for the gift. What you focus on grows. So I see that, you know, my finances have suffered, so to speak, but so what? Okay, I'm still okay, as long as I'm okay. But from that, I grew into something else. And from that, I realized, you know, this and that. Maybe you realized you need less of certain things. Maybe you realized that, you know, people couldn't go to nightclubs, so that they realized, actually, I feel better not nightclubbing, which is actually quite a negative vibrational field. It actually makes you get really competitive and ends into that. It has a vibrational effect, put it this way. You might realize that kind of thing, well, actually, I don't miss it. Or, wow, I didn't realize I was addicted to that. And wow, I found a new hobby. Because of these restrictions, so to speak, I opened up another doorway. I found something else. This is the creativity within humanity. And I love that. Humans are so creative, so innovative. and so adaptive, and we need to tap into this, and actually adversity helps to create that. So let's keep that in mind. And I'm not saying for one second that it's been easy for everyone. Hasn't. It really isn't. And it's also not easy for people that can't digest it, maybe children or teenagers, that maybe if they're a bit on a depressive vibration, it can seem extremely doom and gloom. And I'm not saying that's easy or good at all, but I'm saying help people like that. Focus on the bright. Always say, what if this is a good thing? What if this means we actually discover something more profound? What if this means we're going to do more gardening at home? What if it means we connect in a different way? What if that means that our government is changing for the better, etc., etc.? Because that's evolution. So have a beautiful now. Enjoy. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. And feel free to reply to this video wherever you end up finding it, and let me know your thoughts. Honor yourself. You've got all you need within you. And if you feel that you've forgotten that, come on a journey with me, because I know that you have all you need within you. And I make sure that you also know, if you're ready to know. That's the only prerequisite, if you really want to know, that you have all you need within you. And from that fulfilled place, you'll feel so complete that you don't need to grab love or attention from anyone, that you can be your authentic self. You vibrate so high, and then you can give even more love to your family, to your children, or you can break out of situations you don't need to be in anymore, and you can do this with peace and love and a higher intelligence, an intelligence of heart and soul, not of ego and win and lose. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. I will be sharing more on my channel about my journey, what I've experienced about my incarnation, what I experienced meeting the dark side, how that presented itself, how I experienced it, what I did with it, what I felt, and how I experienced it, how I experienced tests and invitations, and also how it feels when we're going through change. I will make a lot of YouTubes on that, but in a nutshell, it is painful. It's like a mini death. But if you know that's what it is, just breathe through it. It's like, it's also a rebirthing. It's also a great gift. So I'm really here to support you on that, so that you feel empowered and amazing. 100%. Great. I work with women only, though. Keep that in mind. If you're a male and you want to work with someone like me, I can refer a male or a few males to you that do similar work. Okay. Yes.